Honorable Men Discord. David was arrested. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's get straight to this. Listen, when I first saw this, I said, finally. It's been 7 months since the unfortunate finding of Celeste Rivas, her remains in the frunk of a Tesla owned by David. And this whole thing has just been bizarre. Yes, he was cooperating with authorities, but even still, I said to myself, why isn't this young man arrested? And the way I looked at it was, he owns the vehicle. At the time of the discovery, he was touring, I believe. He wasn't in town, but it was his vehicle. Now, one might say, well, he was framed, right? That's always a possibility, okay? But then at no point in time did I ever see any footage of him shedding tears for an ex-girlfriend. I don't even know the status of the relationship. There was never, there were no talks about the status of the relationship, where it ended, or did it ever end? But there was videos that surfaced of her beside him on streams and things like that, and I never saw any video since the findings of any remorse from him. I don't even recall a public statement from him. Now, maybe it's protocol. Maybe it's the norm to lawyer up and have your lawyer just speak for you in these type of cases. But I would think the humane thing to do, if it was someone that you loved, you find out something like this, there would be something, maybe even something on your social media where you're like, how could this happen? You know, now I could be wrong. If that's actually out there and I missed it, let me know in the comment section. But to me, it just seemed, everything about it just seemed like, you know, this was someone that was in streams with you, videos of you in like the bowling alley. And regardless of how the relationship ended, if you find out someone that you were with was dismembered and found inside of your car, something, I would expect you to say something. That's just not natural. Now, the fact that she was dismembered in itself, to me, and I think to the world, showed that she was murdered. So the fact that they didn't even they didn't deem it as her being murdered was just ridiculous to me. And this is out of my this is out of my realm. So I don't know legally if there's legal reasons why they did not deem it as a murder right away. But it's like, it wasn't a natural death either. You know, you don't naturally end up in someone's trunk dismembered. So yes, she was murdered. But nevertheless, 7 months later, he's arrested. But I have more to speak on that whole arrest. But let's play this video and then I'm going to talk about it further.
David Burke, whose stage name is David, has just been arrested in the murder of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, whose dismembered and decomposed body was found last September in the trunk of a Tesla registered to David. The medical examiner still has not determined a cause and manner of death. Burke is currently being held without bail. For more now, we turn to our Jacqueline Lee in Los Angeles. Jacqueline, why did it take so long to take Burke into custody?
Lindsay, it was months of investigators compiling evidence. Now, sources say the arrest was based off of that evidence and probable cause. Investigators telling ABC News they can prove this was murder. And this was the biggest hurdle for the medical examiner, because when Rivas Hernandez's body was found in the back of that Tesla, it was decayed and it was dismembered. So it was, having to examine a body in that state proved very difficult for the medical examiner. But again, sources say the LAPD was able to compile evidence, enough evidence to prove what they say is beyond a reasonable doubt that this was murder. Lindsay.
And what's next at this point for Burke and this case?
So the evidence was presented to a grand jury, we're told, and we're also told the evidence will be presented to a DA for filing on Monday. As for Burke, he is behind bars. Lindsay.
All right, Jacqueline Lee Forrest. Thanks so much, Jacqueline. Singers.
All right. So again, the news just reported the obvious. Unfortunately, her body was dismembered when it was found in the frunk of the Tesla. We knew this 7 months ago. Why 7 months before he's arrested? Now, here's something that I wanted to make sure I noted, right? So in Los Angeles, the primary difference, I asked what the difference is between an arrest and being charged. So in Los Angeles, the primary difference is that an arrest is an action taken by law enforcement when they have probable cause to believe a person committed a crime, while a charge is a formal accusation filed by a prosecutor, such as the LA County District Attorney, which is who's going to review this coming Monday. But again, I ask, in 7 months, why now? Why did it take 7 months to get to this? Why did it take 7 months for just an arrest, and they still have to pass it to the DA to review? Now, maybe cases are backed up. I can only assume that's what it is. There's cases every day. There's crimes, unfortunately. How many crimes take place a week? How many crimes take place a day? So it's possible that they were backed up. I'm going to assume that's why it took 7 months. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm not here to bash the legal system, but I would have thought that at this point in time, 7 months later from when she was found in the frunk, he would be arrested and charged at the very least. But to be arrested and now they're waiting for Monday for them to go through the stuff is just, listen, I don't know what to think about this. And I know this must be agony for her family, because this just leaves room for doubt. That what if he's able to lawyer up and get out of this? So he's arrested, but if there's nothing definitive, if there's nothing that actually places him with her, there's no camera footage, there's no fingerprint DNA, because again, her body was decomposed. So how do you prove that he had something to do with her ending up in the trunk, other than the fact that it's his vehicle? That's the part that's shaky to me, because who has access to your vehicle? Did the frunk look like it was like someone broke into it? Or, is there any damage to the actual frunk? If there isn't, someone had the key. Who was able to get the key? Who else had access to that particular Tesla? Those would be the questions that I'm pretty sure would come up. But again, you still have to prove that he himself did it. It's one thing if he paid someone to do it, but you still have to prove all of that. So I don't know exactly what they have in the file. This is interesting. I just, for the family's sake, so that they could move on. If there is a such thing as moving on, when you find out that your child, your loved one, was found in that state. It's bad enough having to deal with someone losing someone, and then there's another thing to deal with the fact that you lost someone in that fashion, and then you wonder if they were going through pain, or was it fast? If they were tortured, you wonder all those things, and it's it's not something that I would wish on any family, and especially I would not wish that on the victim. And hopefully she gets justice, whoever did this. If it's not him, hopefully they justice is found on that person. But what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on this? I think a lot of things are bizarre. His music, and the fact that he had a record that was unreleased, where I believe it was named Celeste. This stuff I covered in an older episode. But even his music, the videos, he seems to be someone who, he's definitely talented. I'm not saying he's not talented, but he has a very dark dark lyrics, and I don't think it's by coincidence. I really don't think it's by coincidence. And again, I just want to see what happens in the next few days, specifically Monday, to see if anything is said from the news stations on Monday regarding this. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, this is not smoke and mirrors. I have something else queued up here also. This is from the arrest. I don't know who recorded this. I don't know if this is authorities or this is a neighbor who pulled out their phone. But let's listen to this and I'll wrap this episode up.
Look, it's gonna obscure my view from the gate.
If you try to run or if you try to resist, you will get hit with my feet or it's gonna hurt.
I got you.
If you try to run, we have canine on premises and you will get bit.
I got you. All right, so the gate is locked. Do I open the gate? Sir? Open the gate. Look, it's gonna obscure my view from the gate.
Yeah, listen, that's it. That's all I have on this. And just a reminder, I just reminded again. I'm over here reading this. She was only 14 years old. This is crazy. She barely lived a life at 14. Listen, justice for her, however that looks. If he's not the one who actually did this, may they find the person who actually did it. But this is crazy. This is crazy. But listen, that's all I have on this. As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button on your way out. Hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend and tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.